everybody, and welcome to Diamond Cast episode 30. I don't know why I'm being Mike Myers / Mrs. Doubtfire. So what we're doing today is we are going
to go back to your website.
Well, hang on. We need to talk about this. This is so good, right? So I just discovered before we just started filming this, Natalie is amazing at accents, way better than me. I've got like 2 accents, 3, right? You've got like 17 different accents, and they're all
in
amazing.
the same sentence.
They're all amazing, and they keep just fluctuating. You went from like Dublin to Glasgow to Newcastle in about one sentence, which jet setter, yeah, absolutely amazing. So we need more of this, and it should probably get added to the bingo card that Nat does a good accent.
Oh, or does a funny accent that doesn't actually make any sense. I don't know why it's Scottish now, because a minute ago it's Geordie, and I can't remember how to do Geordie anymore. Maybe it's that
I love your Geordie accent.
Like slightly mumble Geordie. I don't understand, but anyway.
Fighter.
Biker Griff. I think we just got some bingo things there, referencing old kids' TV shows. That's probably on there.
Here we go.
Was it all within like 1 minute 11 seconds? It's all.
So today we are going to be talking about.
It's still there.
Still doing it.
You can't switch out now.
Just do it for the whole thing. That's a challenge. Do it for the whole thing.
Code phrase.
Today on Lorraine Kelly, we're going to be talking about.
Lorraine Kelly is a British TV presenter.
Scottish.
Just saying that.
In a legendary status, she's it's gone.
Okay, good.
She is a legendary national treasure on the television, and I'm not talking like her anymore, so we can start. So today we're going to be talking about our rituals, war stories, and how the band own the stage. So every great performer has their pre-show rituals, battle scars, and war stories. So what does it take to step on the stage and own the moment? Today, I think Diamond Black are going to tell you. This week, we're talking about the mindset of a live musician, from pre-show rituals to show-stopping disasters. And finally, we also have the German lyrics translated from Kim, which is really exciting that we're going to be looking at.
Thank you, Kim, for actually doing that.
No, it's quite in-depth, actually. So I've put that in the chat for everyone to look at. So before we start, what is the most rock and roll thing you guys have done this week?
Well, I played at Rock City, Nottingham Rock City, a couple of nights ago, which is a brilliant venue that's been there for many years. And so many great bands have played there. What they do every day is when there's a show on, they put a printout on the wall that says, on this day, these are the bands that played here over the last X amount of years. And so you look up and you go, okay, so on the, whatever it was, the 12th of March, 1987, this band played. 2001, this band played. It's amazing. Like, it's all incredible bands from like 70s stuff through to like classic rock, and then grunge and industrial, goth, indie, emo. It's brilliant. So that's really cool that you're like, oh wow, I'm in exactly the same place as all these cool bands. So that was pretty rock and roll to play Rock City. It was Rock City, I think, was the first good size, like proper sized gig I think I ever played in my life, when I was supporting a band called Alkaline Trio. If you guys remember them.
Yeah, man.
Well, this is a great band. Yeah, really good. And so my first like band that ever really did anything, we did a few shows with Alkaline Trio, and one of them, the first one was at Rock City. It was the first time I'd ever been on a stage where, you know, there's 1,500 people there. It was like, wow, this is incredible. You really feel like you're actually doing a real gig, that you feel like you've arrived. Vincent, what was the first time that you played a show where it was more than just a few hundred people in a club or whatever? It was suddenly, whoa, this is 1,500 people. This is a big venue. The monitors are really good. You know, that kind of proper show.
I think it was Lorelei in Germany. Yeah. It was a festival. It was actually 7,000 people.
Whatever.
Well, because it's a festival. You know, it's a big, huge festival, progressive rock festival in Germany.
Of course, it's progressive.
Yeah, well, I think that was it. Yeah. But the venues, I think it was actually with Night by Night when I toured with you guys. I think what was the first venue? I can't remember the first venue. Was it the Robin 2 in Bilston? Yeah, Robin 2, but it was kind of like, you know, smallish venue. But I think it was also Rock City when I felt like, okay, this is huge. You know?
Yeah.
This was, I think we were supporting YNT.
Yeah.
Was that right? Yeah. So that was this is fucking cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my rock and roll thing. What's you guys' rock and roll thing?
I went to a recital for a guy called Django Reinhardt. He's like a gypsy, guitar player from like 1900s, and he's amazing. He's like my favorite guitar player in the world. He's dead. It wasn't actually him, but it was like a recital of his music, and he's so cool because not only is he amazing, he's only got like 2 fingers.
Yeah, was he born like that? Was it an accident?
I think it was like a fire, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
And I think he could play already, and then he lost his fingers. He actually learned this whole new style with it too. That's really cool.
And it's sort
I went to that. Was
jazz, and it's a really interesting chords as well, isn't it? So to do that with
really good.
Yeah.
I love that kind of era of music because we talk about that quite a lot. So it's like pre-jazz, like 1920s stuff, 1900s.
Yeah, really, really cool. Fun fact. Django Reinhardt. Do you guys remember that there was a film around about 2010 that had Sacha Baron Cohen in it? I think it was set in a train station or something. I don't know if this was ever a big film, but it was directed by Scorsese.
Oh, Leon,
right?
Is it? Wait,
I don't think it's
a guy's name. Hugo.
Yes,
Hugo.
Django Reinhardt is in. Well, someone plays the character of Django Reinhardt in the train station, like a young Django Reinhardt.
Cool.
And I actually auditioned for it and got down to the last 3.
Oh, really? Cool.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
But then didn't get
That's
it.
really hard, man.
I was like almost in that film. So fun fact.
He's got too many fingers. That's a problem.
Stop. I actually know, but in the audition, I learned how to play with 2 fingers. I learned how to play Django Reinhardt, and that was just like I did that off my own back. No one told me to do that, but I thought, go the extra mile.
Authentic.
Cool.
Did the guy that won the part do the same as well, or did he cut his fingers off?
Yeah, he went one better. I don't know. I didn't care after I didn't get it. So never even watched the film.
You didn't watch the film as well. Forget about the film.
But I mean, you know,
it's really hard to play.
You know, it's like Vincent when you get those auditions, you can be that close to being in like a major film, and then it just doesn't happen, and it's like could be a real like huge life changing thing, and then it just doesn't happen. But I guess that's the nature of the biz, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vincent's in loads of things. He's famous, mate.
Yeah, actually, what I'm on about. He's already had life-changing appearances.
Hair adverts.
Can you do some more acting for us? Like, right. So, say it was Vinnie's Tuff, right? And we're actually the scene is it's like the back streets of I don't know somewhere in America, and you're part of the gang, and you're not the main guy, but you're like one of the guys, and you've got like one line, and your line would be something like, "Yeah, so you get me in the phone." Yeah, and what you have to say is just coming up with this now. What you have to say is, I think he's scared, boss.
Oh, come on.
I think he's scared, boss.
That was so good. The lean in as well. Nailed it.
I got scared.
I got scared. Vinnie's Tuff.
Okay, so that's what we've done this week.
That's pretty cool. There's some chat in the Discord about the bats want to know who's the toughest, and who can bench press the most.
Oh,
that's a Ben, 100%.
Look at those arms.
Look at the arms and chest.
Hey, well,
his arms are 2 of mine.
Being tough isn't about going to the gym. Being tough is like being Vinnie on the streets.
It's a mindset.
Yeah, it's a mindset. Yeah, it's a mindset. Yeah, it's about being on the streets like Vinnie, like in part of a gang. I was just where this is all coming from. I don't know where I've decided this. But I think toughness is about. It's not about lifting weights. It's about
unique individual strengths.
Exactly. It's yeah.
I've got to say that because I can't do it.
You could. I'm sure you could. But yeah, toughness, I guess, it's about mental toughness, isn't it? It's about shut up. It's about being able to overcome stuff and have a good willpower and discipline, isn't it? Rather than being able to lift bits of metal. So yeah, I think that's not metal.
That's quite simple. Okay. So Ben and Vincent, you just got back from being on tour.
Well, I'm actually. This is really weird. I'm in the middle of the tour, so we played
You're
in
in your
Nottingham. Yeah, exactly. I know, right?
I don't believe you.
We're doing a gig in my house.
It's a green screen.
Yeah. Because it's a UK tour, we did a gig in Nottingham, and then we had a day off, so I came home because today's Manchester. So I'm leaving after we film this to go to Manchester. So rather than like sit in a hotel on the edge in a motorway in Warrington for like a day, I thought I'd come home. And it gave me the opportunity to do this with you guys as well. So
That's really cool. It's great that you've maintained the continuity of having your actual background rather than the background of a hotel room.
Exactly.
Like, people always think like being on tour and staying in like hotels and all the time is going to be like glamorous or whatever, but it's like horrible places. It's like bland travel lodge all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
The memes are correct.
Yeah. And then when we get like occasionally get like a Premier Inn, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's a Prem! I love a Prem!"
They call it Prem in the business.
Yeah.
Breakfast with free breakfast.
Exactly, right?
Does that ever? Do you ever get free breakfast? Is that
You do
or is that a myth?
Well, I think like
Prem.
four-star hotels and upwards, you always get free breakfast. But the Premier Inn, I think that's probably a 3, but you still get it, or you can get it for like I don't know 10 or something. But a Prem. It's definitely a step up, but it's not really glamorous, is it? It's often there's long drives, so you get into the hotel and it's like sleep, go, sleep, go. You've got 5 hours till we have to get up again.
Yeah, and it's like on a motorway or something. It's like not in the town centre half the time.
Yeah. It's on the motorway, and the closest is a petrol station and a Greggs. That's it. Do you remember, Vincent, when we did that American tour and the drives were so long that we would get to the wasn't his hotel? What do you call them? Those roads motel. We get to the motel and the tour manager would be like, "Okay, guys, we're getting up in like 3 hours, so like you got to get to sleep." Vinnie would be like, "Sleep, go, sleep, go," and then like it would seem like seconds later.
What I remember the most is the long drives. You know, most of the drives are between 8 to 14 hours. So when we were driving, okay, tomorrow the drive time is only 5 hours. Oh yes, only 5 hours. You know what I mean? That's how long it was.
Yeah, like it was insane. So yeah. So yeah, it's good. I am on tour, but like I've still got 10 days to go, and it's Manchester tonight.
Oh, cool. 10 days.
Good. So we did a first couple of shows as headline.
What band are you on tour with?
I'm on tour with Ricky Warwick. So it's essentially his music and the other bands that he does a couple of songs with the other bands that he's been in, like the Almighty and Thin Lizzy, Black Star Riders, and then his own stuff. And then we're the band who go out with him and play that stuff. So it's been good. You know, it's like the first few shows of a tour, you're like, oh my God, can I remember how the songs go? And meeting new people and just getting the vibe. Yeah. But now we've done 4 and I feel a lot more confident about it now. And I feel like it'll be fun from here on because you've got into the rhythm of it and you know what you're doing. Yeah, and it's that sort of intermediate between, it's very independent. So there's still elements of carrying gear in from the van and having to having to just be on call, ready at all times to do stuff. You're all in the van, but it's also an element of he's on a label and we've got a couple of members of crew and stuff. So that's sort of middle ground.
If you're headlining as well, then you can have a bit more. You can work at your own pace, I think.
Yeah. That's the nice thing about headlining. But then I guess the cool thing about this, the headline shows are in smaller venues, so it's more like a couple of 100, and then the support shows because we're playing with an Irish, like a veteran Irish band called Stiff Little Fingers punk band,
cool, yeah,
who are like very well respected Irish punk band from late 70s, early 80s. And you kind of get the benefit of when you do a support show. I mean, as you guys know, when you do a support show, you have the benefit of, wow, there's loads of people there because you're playing with a bigger band. The downside or the challenge is, but do they even want to see us or care? And the challenge is, which kind of segues, I guess, into what we're going to talk about, is what do you do in those situations? How do you win over or do your best to win over a crowd of people who've never seen you before, and essentially you're in the way of them seeing the band they want to see. So yeah,
I always did my Irish accent because you said about stiff little fingers. You almost started me off on accents again, but I'd stop myself.
No, don't do it.
That
So
was very-
Venus Doom would like to know what the pros and cons of touring nationally and internationally are
What, as in,
What the difference?
as an independent band.
but like the difference between nationally and internationally, or just all the pros and cons of both?
I would go with the latter.
So all the
Pros and cons of touring with an independent band. So
right, yeah.
I know that's like something that you are currently doing, Ben, but like you've all been on tour. So yeah,
When
just
we
pros
play
and
in
cons.
Europe, we have to get the ferry to mainland Europe, and so getting the boat is it's the big difference. That takes up 2 days just to get.
Is
to
the boat
Europe.
a pro or a con?
It's quite fun. It breaks it up, but then you always have a long journey, and it's like you don't actually get to a venue, so it's a travel day. So it's a bit of a dead day, really. It's quite long.
Yeah, and also one of the cons is the equipment, especially if you're playing in America, for example, or South America. Anything that are fly out, you have to rent an equipment, local equipment. Rather than using your own drums or whatever, you have to rent it out. And that can cause some major problems from my experience. They deliver the wrong equipment or the wrong mixing desk or, wrong keyboards, things like that. That's one of the cons.
What do you do in those situations? Do you just get on with it? Or?
Yeah, just get on with it. Just rock out. There's nothing else to do. There's nothing you can do. Just play the show.
I think it's
a bunch of happens.
I often don't appreciate how hard it is for drummers to essentially step up and have a completely new setup in front of them. Because even if you're using, your breakables, it's still the placement of all the cymbals. The toms are in weird places, like something's really high or low, and then you have to do what you normally do on something completely different with no practice in front of an audience, which is so challenging. It'd be like Adam or I being given a completely different guitar, like with different gauge strings on it. That's just, here you go, here, do your gig then, mate. And like it responds in a different way and it sounds different. And I've never really thought about how challenging that is, Vinny. How do you make that work when you step up to a new kit and like suddenly the toms are really high or low or the cymbals are out of reach? And how do you adapt?
Well, actually, it happens quite a lot, and I just do it. There was actually one time I played a festival. I played a festival in Manchester, and there was zero time to mess with the kit. There was most of the time if we're doing a headline show in, let's say, America or somewhere in Europe, and we have to fly out and use the equipment. 90% of the time we have enough time to sort out the equipment and adjust. But there was one gig in Manchester. I literally sat there and used whatever setup they have. I just got on with it, just played. But I was also want to add that there's only one country where, when I got to the venue, they set up my kit. It's not my kit, but it's a rental kit. They set it up exactly like mine, same height, same everything. Same drum kit, same cymbals, and this was in Japan, in Tokyo. They obviously, I figured out how did they know? Obviously, they looked at my photos. They referenced how high is the cymbals, what's the setup with, because at that time I had a reverse rack tom setup as well, so small to large, which is very rare. And they set it up exactly like that. When I got to the venue, I said, "Oh my God, this is just amazing! You guys are brilliant. How'd you know? How'd you know this is my setup?" And yeah, that was in Japan. That was the only country and venue where they got everything perfect, which is quite impressive.
Wait, do you provide them with like a spec, or do they just?
At that time, no, we didn't.
Right.
We just said I made it simple. I just said I need the Tama kit, and that's it. And I was expecting them to just have the kit in cases when we got there, and I'll set it up with my drum tech. But when we got there, it was already set up.
Nice.
It made it a lot quicker.
Isn't that quite a common thing in Japan? That's the ethos that they have in the venues, is that they're really, really amazing at creating fidelity of what you. I think I heard this amazing story once, whether or not it's true, about how a band was doing a couple of nights in the same venue, And when they left the venue that night, they sort of randomly left a bit of equipment in the middle of the floor, thinking that, on the middle of the stage, like thinking, that would just get picked up later. When they came back the next day, it was in exactly the same place. It even had like a bit of tape around it because they thought that's where you want it, right? This random like broken drumstick on the way. But I don't know if that's true or not. But I've heard that the ethos there and the professionalism is like uncomparable.
Yeah, that's I can believe that story. If indeed that happened, I can believe that.
It's like someone had left like a half-empty juice box of Umbongo on the side of it. They've put tape around it and made sure it's exactly the right place.
If that was in the UK, if that was in the UK, they'd be doing that passive aggressively, like move your stuff.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the cons on playing internationally. Just equipment, just equipment, gear.
Yeah, definitely when you've got a lot of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, having to use other things that aren't your own kit as well.
But also the anxiety of it as well. You turn up and you're like, I'm going to bring my A game myself. However, I don't know what's going to happen when we get onto the stage, when we have a sound check. Do we have a sound check? Is it just a line check? Is it you go straight on and play?
That's like you were saying, like it's taken you 4 gigs to get settled in onto this tour. It's the same sort of thing, isn't it? The first couple have to get out of the way and then...
and often I'm sure you guys have experienced when you're a support band, you've got to set up in front of the other band, which means that sometimes there isn't a lot of space. So you've done that thing where you set the drums up, but you can't actually put them in the middle of the stage because that's up against where the lead singer's going to be. So you've got to sort of put them over to one side a bit, and then someone else gets pushed into a corner, and you've got like a cymbal here. But yeah, it's that's the pros and cons I think of being in a support band. Is you get to play these big venues, you are beholden to whatever the headliners do or don't want to do, and working around that as well.
And if they're running late and you don't get a sound check.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one where you get to the venue and you basically just have to stay there because you have to be ready at all times to do the sound check, or something might come up or whatever, rather than if you're headlining, you just saunter off and you turn up later and everything's set up for you.
I really hate it when you have to sound check in front of your crowd, because of something's been running late and you've got to do like half a song in front of the crowd. I'm like, don't listen to this. This isn't the set.
People like applauding. Stop applauding. Stop enjoying it. This isn't it.
It's going to ruin the surprise.
That happened to us, Ben, right? When we arrived at the venue, we were I think an hour late. The doors already opened. The venue was absolutely packed. And we arrived. We were setting up equipment. Obviously no time to even sound check. No line check. We just checked maybe the backing track, and that's it. We literally played in front of people with no sound check.
That was Boston, wasn't it? Did we just super late? Did we just like load the stuff onto the gear and just start playing, basically?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that wasn't great. But yeah, I mean, I've had other things in the past where you get a really good support slot with like a famous band who's coming through your local venue. Like, oh, amazing, great. Oh my God, we're playing with such and such. It's such, yeah. And then like, as you approach, you start to find out more about it. Like, actually, you've got 4 songs set. Okay, great. And we're putting you on at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
What time are the doors? 6 o'clock. Okay. 6:30. I remember I turned up to Bradford Rios once, and there was a sound guy was outside smoking a cigarette, and he went, "Who are you then?" I said, "Well, we're this band." "Oh, you're on first, aren't you? You're the least important."
It's a quiet part out loud.
Greetings.
He's honest.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes it can be a bit challenging that you're like, oh wow, we've got this great support, and then because you're the least important, you have to sort of work around everything else, and you might not get a dressing room and all those kind of things.
Yeah, you have to get changed in the toilets, or like
in like a corridor next to
McDonald's
the kitchen.
around the corner.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
When you do a co-headline tour, how do you decide who goes on first and who goes on last?
I think you just alternate it, I guess.
Right.
You just... I guess it must be difficult if you're like, well, who's going to do it in London or Manchester?
Yeah, like with home shows or hometown shows.
Flip a coin.
Flip a
I
coin.
suppose you just flip, just figure it out.
And There you go.
Play rock, paper,
depth.
scissors on the tour
Who
bus.
draws more crowd, I guess.
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Get the sound engineer, like, or somebody or roadie to walk out on the stage during when the crowd is gathering and like shout out the name of each band, and whoever gets the highest cheer goes on last.
Yeah.
That's like proper like battle of the band stuff. That is. Oh, and another one from that show that where we got the support slot. And I was super excited, and we were on at 6. The doors were at 6. Was this whole also you have to buy loads of like 50 tickets off us and then sell them on.
Yeah.
That whole like scheme, and I think that's something for. I know we were going to talk a bit about new bands approaching gigs and stuff. Is you really have to weigh that up if you're going to get asked to do something like that. Like, oh yeah, we want to put you guys on, but you have to buy 50 tickets off us, and then you hopefully sell them yourself.
They
stuff
still
like
do that.
I don't know. I don't know
that for a long time because it's basically pay to play, but like disguised as like selling tickets.
Yeah, I know.
Because you have to front the money for the
well.
ones you don't sell, right? Normally.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
But then you have to also do the promotion for them as well. So you're doing the sales job as well as just paying for it, rather than pay to play where you just pay money and that's it.
The promoter like passing responsibility of actually selling tickets, promoting to the bands themselves.
Yes,
and then they got a guaranteed money either way.
The bad thing about that is that then the bands will probably sell it to people that they know, and so the bands are yet again playing in front of a group of people that they know, and when they're trying to get seen by people that they don't know to try and get more fans.
And sometimes it's one of those battle of the bands things. And then I remember one I did was the vote was done on how loud the audience is. So basically, like you said,
who's got the most friends?
Yeah, who's brought the most friends? Not, and how do you even really measure it? I don't think that there was some sort of a decibelometer that was measuring exactly how loud people were.
That would be the fairest way, though, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or again, who's got the loudest friends? I mean, if you're just a quiet person, but there's lots of you.
True.
It's not very fair, is it?
True, it's not fair.
Okay.
Cool. So, do you guys have any sort of pre-show rituals that you engage in prior to going on stage? Anything weird and wonderful that you would like to share?
Got some. Well, we recently discovered on the last tour that we all love Lonely Island.
Yeah.
So Adam made a playlist of Lonely Island songs for us to listen to.
Play some tunes backstage to get you in the mood.
Yeah, I think that's a really
Normally
good.
silly, cheesy songs as well.
Yeah, and that Lonely Island stuff was great because it's we all know all the words and it's funny and it's really uplifting as well. And I felt that really helped because I certainly get nervous before we go on, and that sort of fun really helped. I found another thing that really helps with pre-show prep is my favourite subject: turning the phone off. Particularly because when you're playing a show, like the sort of, I guess the kind of level that we've been playing shows at, that's the time when suddenly all the guest list requests it's like an hour before. Oh yeah, listen mate, I saw you playing at the, can I get on the old list? And I used to find myself with like 7 minutes before stage time rushing down to the front of the venue to put someone on the guest list at the last minute and like walking through the crowd and it really stressful. So I think getting into the mindset of from an hour before the show, it's all about the show. And that's like getting into your stage gear. So you're in the zone, being with the band, listening to Lonely Island, not being on people's being able to contact you about guest list and stuff like that. For me,
should be a
that's
cut-off
really
point for guest list, unless it's like press and really important people that that you want to be there. But they wouldn't message you directly, would they? Or if they did, that's kind of okay.
When I used to DJ the Electric Ballroom, I had to sort out the guest list obviously before I started DJing. But then I keep getting messages from people being like, "Oh, I'm at the front door and they're not letting me in. Something wrong." So then you have to put a long song on and run down to the front desk and sort it out, then run back to the DJ booth.
That's exactly right, Adam, because even if you had put them on the guest list, there might be some sort of misunderstanding or something didn't come through. And I think you have to just like let that go and go, right, an hour before, it's out of my hands. I have to just focus on the show, not this one person who's coming along who, for some reason, their name's
it's always the same person in my case.
Yeah, I can kind of guess who. Maybe on this instance they are on the guest list so they can fork out £7 to come and support me doing my thing, and I can try and give it back to them later or whatever. But not to be on tenterhooks for that hour before, just in case something goes wrong with the guest list. At that point, it's the show you have to really focus on. And I think that's actually really important for that.
I think before going on stage, I spend quite a lot of time sorting out the merch. So that's like going and making sure everything looks nice and is displayed nice, and like helping whoever we've got, doing the merch table, getting them sorted out. So I do quite a lot of that prep before going on, and then I can go and sort myself out once that's settled.
What does it feel like to when it's all nicely set up and you're standing and everything? All of your work displayed like an art installation. What does that feel like?
So. I don't really look at it like that.
Is that why you like doing the merch?
No, I like to sort of making sure the brand of Diamond Black is, consistent all the way through. So I want it to look nice and like professional. So.
Is it quite cathartic knowing that when you're on stage, you don't have to worry that someone else has put the merch out wrong?
Yeah, we've had some really great people helping us doing the merch table as well. But there's always something like, like the PayPal reader's not working or something like that. So making sure everything, we can actually sell the merch as well is quite
people that sell your merch actually.
It's easier when you can just take
really
cash,
well. Yeah.
But then you've got to get a float and all stuff like that. So there's always things to make sure the front of house is, set up. And that's after we've done sound check normally, or bit before sound check and then a bit after, and like throughout. So it's like there's no like sort of relaxing time really.
Yeah. Do you remember we were in Hamburg and it's like, we need to get some of those pins you put into the to the board to keep the t-shirts on. But how do you even translate what that is?
Yeah, I know.
That's what we're doing before the gig, trying to find out the translation for drawing pin.
Oh, we took our own as well, and I think the venue nicked them or something like that. I feel like...
Oh my God, yeah. Incredible.
So we were prepared.
Yeah.
So
So these
not
are
so
weird
much
things.
rituals, just like sorting things out, making sure.
Like there's no superstition or ritual or thing that you have to do. It's more like practical stuff so that you can play.
There's not enough time for a ritual, really. Have Vincent, wake Vincent up.
No, actually, for me, I just need a half an hour just to warm up my hands. There's nothing special.
Oh, yeah, you got the little pad backstage.
Yeah. Just play practice. Just play basic rudiments on the practice pad, and just to get the hands and fingers moving, and that's it. There's no special ritual or anything like that.
We should start one. Oh, we do a little huddle before we go on stage.
To be honest with you, I've been thinking about that. Maybe that's actually what the question was about. I think if we do anything weird, like.
Well, now that we've got so many new in-jokes, we can create a completely new one based on all the in-jokes that we've built over doing this cast for the next shows. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe some sort of combination of Vinnie's TUFF and
it's like a little cheerleading anthem or something.
Yeah.
Give me a tea. Okay, cool.
What about after the show? Do you have any things that you do after the show? Because
it's the same.
We'll go to the
merch.
Back up the gear. Back up the gear.
Back up.
Yeah, pack up. Well, we go straight to the merch if we can after we come off stage to meet people and say hello and stuff. So that's really nice. That's our favourite bit. Well, my favourite bit anyway.
Yeah, that's such a good bit because you've got the euphoria of, yes, we did the gig and it was great, and then you get to actually speak to people and get that feedback and that enthusiasm and that positivity. That is definitely one of the best bits. And we always had quite a good system, didn't we, of no matter what, somebody has to be there straight afterwards, because it might be a situation where we're taking all our own gear off stage, and but we'd always say, like, whatever happens, one of us today has to go straight there, because that's the time when people, particularly in the support band, when people will still have us on in their consciousness and they'll want to chat to us.
It helps having red hair because then people recognise me as well.
That's very true, actually. Yeah, the beacon.
Yeah. Like, follow me. So it's not so many rituals we've got. It's just more like sorting things out. It's quite a non-stop day.
Well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe a lot of people are thinking about the films, about rock bands and touring. And if you think about it, just none of those happen anymore because there's just so many things to do. I mean, after you finish the show, you need to do this, you need to do that, and then you're off the bus, you off to the next venue, drive the whole night, things like that.
I like to
It's
try
just
and
not-
like dance around if then watch the other band, and if there's a club night on afterwards, enjoy it. But normally we have to move on to the next venue.
Yeah. There's just no time to. I think maybe
To rock.
probably people are thinking, "Are you guys partying and stuff?" There's no time to party. There's so many things to do.
Even at Hellfest, I think, Adam, you went to go and see The Offspring. That was the only band you saw after your performance, and you went to go see The Offspring. And there's photos of you guys all backstage when you came back, and you just like got like covered in like everyone else's sweat or something, and like you were just sitting there like with the biggest smile on your face because you just went crowd surfed at the front.
Yeah. Well, when we
And
got
everyone
there,
else
we were
looks tidy, and you're just like, yeah.
we're at Hellfest. We were like, I want to see this band, and I want to see this band, I want to see this band, and then we ended up spent our whole day just sorting out our own set, so there's no time to go and see anyone.
That's the reality, isn't it? Yeah, that's the reality of it.
Although there was this one time where I think I was with you guys on we were staying in some caravan or something was it Held Rock Hell or something? And then afterwards we went back into the little caravan and we all started like dancing around to DuckTales and other like theme songs.
Yeah, all the music we always play is really cheesy.
I guess the benefit of that was that we were staying after the show, and the actual hotel was on campus. So we didn't really have to travel anywhere, and I think we just had to take the gear into a side room and then leave the next day with the stuff. Whereas as normally it's more complicated than that. So that was really fortuitous, wasn't it? That we could actually.
It was quite nice.
The accommodation was in the venue.
Yeah, it was cool. Cool.
Nice.
So we've got 10 minutes left, so I just want to cut. I'll cut this bit out.
Oh, Natalie, I almost made it the whole episode. I didn't have to do any editing.
How dare you?
What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Like the most cringiest or the most nightmarish thing that's ever happened to you during a performance, and how did you recover?
Wait,
Is that to us as a band, or?
Well, we were playing Ghost in the Glass, wasn't it? And then the power cut out, and that's the first song.
When you said all gone.
Yeah, it was all gone, and then the power cut out, and the whole stage died.
The entire power to the entire stage.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, I fucking remember that. There was also one time we played in London, and something happened with the backing track. I think it was the second song. I had to turn it off because it was maybe it skipped or something. So I had to turn it off. But it wasn't a big deal because it was only playing synths and a click. So I had to turn it off, and I reached out to Ben and said, dude, I had to turn the back track off. I think it was like I said, it wasn't a big deal. It was only minor synths in there. We still rocked out. We still played as a band. And, everything was live anyway. It didn't matter. But that was like a long time.
That's before we started using in-ears. So that's why we started using in-ears. You can hear if
the in-ears changed your lives, didn't they?
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I think
cool.
one of the worst ones for me was that I was playing a gig at Islington Academy, and it was like a really great support, and I was super excited about it. And then we got like 2 songs in, and I broke a string, even though I changed the strings and before just something happened. So I got this. So the guy gave me the spare guitar, but I hadn't properly organised the spare guitar because I didn't think I was going to need it. Why even bring it then? And so the guitar strap on the spare guitar was set really, really short. So I put on the spare guitar, and normally I like have my guitar like down here, but it was like up here. and
like
so
the bass.
a room full of people, this is the academy, so I guess 700-800 people, and I'm like going, guys, can you just give me a second so I can figure out the guitar strap? And it's that awful, we'll get the drummer to just play a beat for a while and get everyone to jam. Like,
drum solo.
And so they're doing that. I'm trying to extend this strap, and for some reason, I just can't figure out how to do it. Just the pressure of being, and I'm there on stage, like, I don't know, I seem to be making it shorter. And so I just give up, and I'm eventually like, right, next song, and I have to do the rest of the set like up here. It was so cringe, but I think with all those things, and when you have those crises, the only thing you can do is just keep going with all the enthusiasm that you've got. And someone said to me the other day, a really, really good quote, actually the bass player of the Ricky Warwick band, he said, if you're really nervous about something or there's an element that you're struggling with, just focused on all the things that you can do really well beside that. And so, okay, you know, that situation, my guitar was up there and I felt pretty stupid, but I could still play well, I could still sing, I could still smile, I could still perform, I could still look like I was having a good time. And most people wouldn't really know the difference, I think. But I couldn't change it. So it was trying to focus on the things that we could do. And it was similar on our tour when I had real problems with my vocal. A real disaster was at the Corporation for me in Sheffield, but that was the worst day for me of my, like, losing my voice. And also I then got up on the riser and fell off it, because do you remember that the smoke from the day before I got a really horrible graze down my shin. Thank you very much, Mr. Hart. It was a really horrid graze. And I fell off the riser because, do you remember in Nottingham Rock City, they'd had those smoke jets below them. And then what happened is, like, the smoke fluid had somehow sort of dried on the metal of the risers, but made it really slippery. So I got up. I was like, okay, I haven't got my voice, but I'm rocking out. And it was like first song or something. Got up on the riser and just fell off. It's really, really bad. Like, grazed I saw some kids laughing at the front. You bastards. But that plus I couldn't sing. I couldn't sing above a low register. I was like, fuck, what can I actually do here? But I realised that I could still play. I could still look like we're rocking out. I was rocking out. And because a lot of the audience didn't know us, they didn't know what the vocal melodies were meant to be. So long as I could sing in tune, it would be okay, even if I couldn't sing everything where I wanted to sing it. And I think that's the key, isn't it? That when you're up against a crisis like that, you just think, okay, what are the things that I can still do to the best of my ability, and just focus on those, rather than if we'd gone on and said, hi guys, just so you know, I can't really sing today, so it's probably going to be a bit shit. Hope you enjoy it. It wouldn't have really been a great approach. What do you guys think about when something bad happens, or you have to go on stage in a way that isn't optimum? What's your way of dealing with it?
Don't know. Just do it.
I think it's the same thing. Just rock out and pretend it's nothing. You know, just move on and just get on with it. I think just rock out.
I know a problem that often drummers can have when they're using different kits, or it's set up at the last minute, is that stuff starts falling off or like moving away. I always hear this story. I was in the second song, the hi-hat like moved across the room, or
kick drum starts walking.
Kick drum starts moving, or the beater falls off or something, and there's like someone under, and you know when you're on stage and you suddenly hear this weird thing where the drums, they were playing like really kind of heavy, and suddenly they're playing like this weird kind of slightly rubbish version, but they're still keeping the beat. You know that feeling, Vincent, where someone's trying to fix something, or you're trying to fix something, trying to keep the beat going at the same time.
Many times.
It's a real drummer thing, isn't it? I guess, is that because you've just got so many things to sort of go wrong?
I guess another one for me was, again, the backing track. I was playing in a different band. It was in South America. I think it was Argentina. Again, the second song, the backing track just actually it wasn't the backing track. It was my mixer. It was completely off. I think there was a power supply failure. And I was looking at my drum tech. I was like, because I'm playing, I can't really sing. I said, backing track. And he said, what's happening? And then because the back track was on the PA, you know, I didn't have the click because my click was connected to my mixer. Mixer was completely off. So I said, I was slowly going out of time. And I can hear the backing track. Oh, shit, is it really going out of time now? And then they had to turn the backing track off because I couldn't hear it. And that for me, it was a big fuck up, which obviously wasn't my fault. It was the mixer.
That was quite a big show as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, you were there. Where was I? So in Argentina, I think Teatro... I can't remember the name.
So it's a few thousand people, and you're dealing with this like terrifying crisis pretty early in the set as well.
Oh, the second song,
yeah. I thought of a story. So, okay, let me tell you my story. Well, when I was in my previous band, Starscream, we were young, and we had this like... we thought it was really fun to end the set with a stage invasion, where people just dive into the drummer. Which was fun. Yeah. And so we did that for a couple of gigs in a row, and then more people got into the crowd. So I'd be like, okay, I'll give you the signal. Well, that means it's the end of the song. run into the kit, and that's it. Yeah. But we're playing the last song in the track, and I'm getting into it. I just do this at the start, and everyone's dives into the kit, right? So like 2 minutes into the song, and then I just left there, like the drummer's gone, right? And I'm just like, oh well. So I jumped into him as well, and then we didn't realise there was no on the stage. There was a dip at the back behind the drummer, so we just went through this curtain and took him out. We dropped like a couple of foot off the back of the stage, and that was the end of the set, just like halfway through the last song. So
because you've done that too early.
Yeah. That was good. We didn't do that after that, but it was fun. Yeah, so there you go.
That's brilliant. Well, at least it was the last
The power
song.
of social conditioning
Yeah,
when
I
it
think-
comes
I
to
think
rock and
everyone
roll.
enjoyed
The power you have.
He's doing the side. Go.
They were just jumping the bit as well because they were so up for it. It's like, oh, whoops. I thought they'd have realised it wasn't the end of the song because they've heard the song before, but no. They were just like, Adam says go. Let's go.
It kind of reminds me of that. Have you guys seen Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
You know that scene with the what do you call that? The fire, the beginning. The director. He was waiting for the director to give the signal, and then he thought he was giving the signal, so he burst out this explosion. It wasn't even the filming. There was no cameras, but he thought he was giving the signal.
Got to be careful with don't accidentally give or do a signal that you're not accidentally going to do another time. Well, there we go. Yeah, so that song.
Cool.
I feel like we might have to wrap this one up.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Do we have time for to look at the German lyrics?
Yes, let's quickly do that.
Yeah. So I've got it written down here. So when
Dark Anthems.
I can't speak German, so I'm not going to attempt to.
Do the accent.
I'll do the accent. When we lose our way, your darkness guides us. Your darkness defines us. Your darkness unites us. And she said the German part is very literal, translated from the English one. I think it has to be translated in a slightly different way to match the grammar. So Kim says some of her thoughts on this are darkness can be both translated as, I can't read that, which is the literal translation of darkness. So finsternis or Dunkelheit. Dunkelheit is literally the translation of darkness, whereas finsternis translates also as eclipse, for example, total eclipse, but is also used in a more mystical religious way, like Lord of Darkness would be Herr der Finsternis. So finsternis is the correct translation for the song.
Oh yeah, that's really good. Actually, I remember when I was first having discussions with some German people about this. Is that they were discussing, I think that was it Dunkelheit or something. Is literally you turn the light off and it's dark, so it doesn't have an emotional meaning in the same way as finsternis does. And it was getting that clarity. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that Kim was able to understand what we wanted it to mean.
Thank you.
Vielen Dank.
Well,
Vielen Dank.
The second line says it's not 100% correct from German. It would be when we it's written down here, but we'll put it in the bottom so people can actually read it because I'm making a pig's ear out of it. Because in German, we lost our way sounds like we lost our phone or lost our wallet, and now we have to hope that someone found it.
Hi, has anyone found my way? I've got this app, Find My Way.
I think he took his way. My way's gone.
So I've got Find My Way on my laptop, and I can see that I've just left it down the road as a little beacon for it. So my way is back there. Great.
Way.
Okay. Well.
Way. So she says it's very hard to find a good translation for defines us in this case. So to define does mean definieren in German, but it is used a bit differently. I will think about this one, but it's not wrong to use it in this case. My English isn't perfect, but I'm really into the German language, so if you need any help, feel free to contact me.
German's
And again, I still really, really like that you added the German lyrics to the song.
Cool.
There you go.
Whew,
I'm terribly sorry about ruining that.
Vielen Dank, Kim. Appreciate it.
There you go. So everyone at home watching this, if you have any big things that you've seen happen at gigs that have gone wrong or big gig blunders, put them down in the comments. We'd love to hear them, and we'll read the best ones out in the next episode.
Thank you. Cool. Please like and subscribe to this video and do all the normal stuff. And join us on Discord as well.
Yes. And Spotify, because you can listen to the cast on Spotify now.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
Apple Podcasts and
Amazing.
stuff
Thank
like
you,
that.
Adam, for doing that.
Nice. Okay, see you next week.
Nice one, guys.
Hopefully. Bye.
Bye.